Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome back to our FedEx cargo operations. You may have noticed that the FedEx van just pulled right in the middle of all of these containers here to unload our pilots and allow them onto the aircraft. I find that amusing. There are a few issues with GSX. Of course, it's not really meant to recognize all of these, but it is what it is. So today we're going to be flying from Seattle all the way across the country to Atlanta. We flew into Seattle last time, and now we're going to move it across the big old USA, and we're going to park it in Atlanta. We do have Imagine Sims KATL over there, so I'm looking forward to flying into that. Weather's looking a little ugly today. We'll get into that during the weather briefing, but other than that, we are ready to rock and roll. So what do you say we climb in the office and get started? Welcome to the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to jump right into our pre-flight checklist here, starting with our block fuel is loaded and verified. We'll go over that when we do our brief. Payload as well, loaded and verified. Parking brake is set. Let's just double check that real quick. There she is, she's set. Good. Battery switch is on, that's up top here. We wouldn't have power on the aircraft without it. Primary flight computers is auto with guard closed. That's this guy here, and it is set. Thrust asymmetry compensation is on auto. That's this one, and it is. APU gen switch on, which it is this one down here. No passenger seats in this one, and no cabin utility in this one either. Left and right bus tie switches are set to auto. That's these two down here. Left and right generator control switches are in the on position, this one, and then the backup generator switches are on as well. It says to start the APU at this point. We're not going to do that. We got a little while to go before we're ready to push back. Nav light needs to come on at this point. Bam, there she is. Logo light as needed. It's getting a little late. We'll put it on. Cockpit lights as needed. We don't need them yet, but we might before we're done. Emergency exit lights armed and guard closed. This guy up top, which it is. Left and right pack control switches are set to auto. They were not, so they are now. And then turn on the Ataroo. There she is. And that takes us to our FMC initialization. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really do love the 777. This is a beautiful airplane. There's something, I don't know, just almost sleek and majestic about this thing. It's so big, yet unless you're up close to it, you don't really see it. You know what I mean? It's not like the 747 where you can just see it's big. This thing, you got to get up on it to really see it. But I just love this airplane. Anyway, FMC initialization here. I love almost all airplanes. Position initialization. Reference airport is Seattle, KSEA. There we go. And then we'll go to the next page. Make sure that you compare this guy here, the GPS position, compare it with what you got from this. So 4727, 122.18, 4727, 122.18. And I'll bring that up for a few more videos probably, because I made the mistake of not checking that when I did my full flight tutorial on the King Air 350. And so, yeah, we were off by about 1,200 miles. So good to know, right? Not putting the gate in there. It doesn't always seem to line up, so I'm just not going to do it. Moving on, we'll go to our route here, and let me just make sure I got my flight plan ready, and I do. Fantastic. Okay, so it's going to be Seattle, and I could do the route request. I'm not going to. I didn't even save one in there. And then we're going to KATL. This doesn't take too terribly long anyway, especially because our route's not all that complex. I'm not going to do the whole thing on screen here. I'll do a few of these, and then we will jump off, and I'll finish up, and then we'll go from there. So flight 0311 is ours today, and we'll activate execute. Now for departure and arrival, we do not have a departure for Seattle. The only departure that really would count is the I think it's Seattle 7, and it's pretty much the same as just going direct anyway. See, Seattle 7 is the one we could use, but you're just going direct to the Seattle VOR. It's kind of weird the way the departure works. I'll show you when we get there. Over to the route again, next page, and then kicking it off, it's going to be, like I said, direct to the Seattle VOR, which is probably almost pointless putting it in there because you're like passing it as you take off. Then it's direct to Normy, N-O-R-M-Y. There we go. And then there's going to be an airway J90. And we're going to take that out to HLN. And then from HLN is J136. And we're going to take that out to BIL. Now I'm going to break away here and I'm going to finish this up, but do let me know down in the comments. Would you guys prefer to see me enter the whole route? Sometimes that could take a while, sometimes not. Do you prefer to have them just uploaded? I usually upload them, but just let me know down in the comments. But I'm not going to make you sit through this whole thing, so I'll be back momentarily and we'll finish setting up our FMC. Alrighty folks, we just finished setting that in real quick. Hop down here, we'll go to our performance initialization page. Click on the 0 fuel weight, click again, and there she is. It also fills in your gross weight. Our planned reserve fuel, final reserve is supposed to be 7,222, so we'll put it at 7.2. There we go. And then we could do a request for performance initialization, but I'm not going to do that. We're already in this here. Let me double check my cruise altitude here. And 330, we're going to step climb. It's a long flight, but we'll start at 330. So there we go. And the cost index is going to be 85. Over to thrust limitations, it's going to be a normal takeoff, normal climb. And we are going to use, what do we want to use? Flaps, what do we got? 1515. I always have to check. We're going to use flaps 15. We are pretty heavy. So we're going to go with that. Click on the center of gravity. Click it again. Trim is 4.0, 147, 153, and 162. That's going to be fantastic. And that's going to jump us right into our cockpit preparation. So, window heat needs to go on. Might as well hop right up top, right? Window heat. Brain doesn't want to work. There it is, right there. Window heat. It's on. Primary left and right engine hydraulic pump switches are on. That's these two here. They are on. Primary C1 and C2 pump switches are off, the two in the center. And then C1, C2 right demand hydraulic pump, left C1, C2 right demand hydraulic pump selectors off. These four. You know what? In the future, I'm just going to say these four are off. No smoking, fasten seatbelt signs can go to auto. EEC mode switches are normal. That's these two here. Engine start selectors are normal as well. Auto start switch is on. Left forward fuel pump pressure light should be out. It's not. It is now. But we don't have the APU running, so probably don't even need it on yet. Well, the light went out, didn't it? Nope, there it is. It came back. Okay. Wing and engine anti-ice auto as needed. We don't need it yet. We're just going to leave it all on auto. Equipment cooling is on auto as well. That's up here. Auto. And then recirc fans need to be on, obviously. Flight deck temp controls. Those are all going to remain in the neutral and auto position there. Left and right pack control switches are on auto, which they are. Trim air switches are on. Isolation valves are on. Bleed air valves are all on or auto. Pressurization panel is set to auto. And ATIS obtain. We've already done that. We'll go over it during the briefing here in a few minutes. And then it says to program the FMC. I've already done that as well. We can set up our MCP at this point. Jumping in over here. So we're going to go straight to our filed altitude of 330. There we go. We'll click that back over in case we need to make changes. Let's see. Flight directors can come on at this point. V2 was what? 162 plus 5 is 167. There we go. 167. And then let me just take a look here. Runway heading. We're going to be taking 16 left, and that's 164 degrees. Which is basically the way we're facing right now. That's 165. There we go. And that is it. Nothing else. No flags on anything, so we're good there. Auto brake needs to go to RTO. You can left click that. Common audio panel is set, not sent. We didn't send it anywhere. Let's take care of our TCAS. It's going to be 2336 as always. Until I start using ATC, that is. And then we'll test it. You'll see it testing up here. There we go. Test is taking place. It'll tell us it's good in a minute, hopefully. we did not set our altimeter yet. So the altimeter was 3006. Scroll that up. There we go, 3006 right there. And then that takes us into our taxi and takeoff briefing. Alright, so I've been doing things differently for these briefings, and I hope that the format is flowing pretty well. I'm starting to get a little bit used to it. So, starting with our weather, the wind right now is 110 at 7 knots. Runway 16 left, center, and right are all in use. The altimeter is 3006. I'm going to cough in your face. There we go, fantastic. Now, let's take a look at our plan of the day. So we're, excuse me, Seattle to Atlanta in our 777. We're looking at an air distance of 1,928 nautical miles. And let's see, these are our maximum weights and so on. Let's take a look at our fuel real quick. Trip fuel is 70,465 pounds. Block fuel, or our release fuel, is 100,630. We've got just a little bit extra in there just in case, because that's what I like to do. That includes this 5,000 extra, and I added a little more because I thought we were going to be running the APU the whole time. Moving on down the list here, we are looking at, this is our route here, so it's direct to the Seattle VOR, then Normie, and then we're taking some airways out to Bill. This waypoint did go in the FMC. I've never seen that before, but then it's all direct from there all the way in, and we haven't put in our arrival yet in case things change. All right, not worried about operational impacts. We will be out of here on time, probably not according to this clock, because right now it is 17:39 Zulu, so we'll be out of here early. We got 205,500 pounds of cargo and a total payload of 206,800 pounds with a 525,100 pound zero fuel weight, which isn't that far under our max zero fuel weight. Fuel 100,600 pounds, a little bit more than that. And then takeoff weight is 624,400 pounds, which, as you can see, again, not all that far under our max weight there. And then our landing weight is scheduled for 553,900 pounds, which, there again, not all that far under our max weight. All right, moving on. There are lots and lots and lots of NOTAMs in here, but none of them that are going to be of concern to us. This is all flight plan, wind information, and then this is weather information. And here you go, NOTAMs. And this is all NOTAMs the rest of the way down. All right, so none of these were of huge concern to us. Some of them because we're in a simulator and these things aren't really happening. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about our taxi and departure here. So we are all the way up here at the Cargo 3 area. Oh my goodness, really? It's got to do that while I'm doing a video too, right? Like, why do I have to sign in again? I was just signed in. Anyway, we are up at the Cargo 3 area. I'm going to try and talk while I sign in here. You know what, I'm not even going to bother. Let's just sign in and be done with it. That is, you know, and that's a Navigraph thing. It's got nothing to do with Sim Toolkit Pro. It has everything to do with Navigraph. Navigraph just keeps booting me out for some reason. I don't understand it. Okay, so we are up here in the Cargo 3 area. We're going to be taking runway 16 left for departure, which is this guy right here. So I pulled up both charts just so you can see the overview, and we do have our briefing strip up here. ATIS is on 118.0, clearance on 128.0. Ramp control, we are to the north, so it's 126.875. Ground on 21.7. And then for 16 left, we're on 19.9 for the tower. And then departure for us is going to be 26.5. All right. We don't need to worry about the hotspots and stuff because, again, we're just going to jump straight on over here. So, and then you've got all your weather stuff in here as well. I absolutely love this Sim Toolkit Pro, you guys. It's fantastic. If you haven't got it yet, go check it out. I am. It's getting ready to release version 0.6. So it's going to be updated. There's going to be some added features and so on. And I've talked with the developer, and whether he wants me to do it for him or not, I'm going to do a full tutorial on how to use this thing once version 1.0 releases, because there's going to obviously be a bunch of changes. But this thing is free, you guys. It's free. All right, and it links to your SimBrief. And if you use PFPX, which I used for years, you can also load PFPX plans in here. So just keep that in mind as well. And there you go. So check it out. Sim Toolkit Pro, absolutely fantastic. And I'm not getting paid to say that, so you know it's true. All right, moving on. What does that take us to? That's all of our cockpit preparation. Our briefings are complete. So we are done with that. And that, of course, takes us into our before start procedures. A little bit of housekeeping to do yet. Let's go down here and make sure our doors are all closed. Doors, close, 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 close. And then, let me see, where am I at here? Oh yeah, we need to start the APU, so we'll do that while doors are closing up. Right click once, right click twice, and there we go. That'll take care of that. Now we can verify that our doors are closed. Let me find the view I want here. I need to change this view. It's not that great in my opinion. Let's just go to this right inboard to be easier to see. So there we go. We still got the main deck cargo door is open. Let's well, it looks to me like it's closed. Can't tell. Let's hop back in. Maybe it's closed now, huh? We want that view there. Yep, looks like it's closed now. Fantastic. Put that back on the nav page there. Switch back to that one. Okay, so cabin and cargo doors are closed, and we have not armed the doors yet. So let's just go back over here and let's arm the door. There we go. Now they're closed and they're armed. External power can be disconnected at this point. So let's go to ground connections, and we can disconnect. And APU. Oh, is the APU not done being up and running? Oh, I feel like an idiot now. I should have checked the APU first. It looks like it's running now, though. I'm such an idiot. The APU's running now. It's not quite. Yeah, it's running. Oh, that was so big dumb. I changed a bunch of stuff. It moved our altimeter. It changed our airspeed on here. It messed everything up. Now we got to wait for all this stuff to start back up too. So my mistake. Let's move on here. Everything will be up and running before we pull out of here. So just double check our parking brake is set. Make a note to yourself. Make sure your APU is fully up and running before you disconnect ground connections. Right. What else? Doors are good. Fuel payload's good. We're not doing pushback through here. Let's go back to the FMC. 162 on there is going to be 167 on here. Reset that real quick. And then our runway heading is 164. Well, we all make mistakes, don't we? Okay, and then this guy's going all the way up. Come on. Maybe. Oh, come on. It's not going to let me do it from that angle. Let's try it this way. There we go, all the way up to 330. Fantastic. Okay, we're reset on that. It takes a minute for the displays to power on. They'll come on here shortly. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Let's see. External power and air is now disconnected. We know that full well. Right electric demand hydraulic pump selector goes to auto. That's this one right here. So we'll put that to auto. And then primary C1 and C2 electric hydraulic pump switches go on. That's these two here. And then you go left electric demand hydraulic pump selector, C1, C2 air demand hydraulic pump selectors all go to auto. My wife's standing behind me blowing on my neck, and she thinks that I don't notice. Left and right fuel pump switches come on, and she thinks she's funny. I don't think we have fuel in the center. I can check here real quick though. Well, if the display ever powers on, so I'm gonna let that finish up. Oh, there it is right there. Never mind. So we'll go to the right inboard and look at fuel, and our center tank is empty. That was funny. All right, moving on. Seatbelt signs are on. Beacon light is on. Recall switch push. Cancel recall. And engines are shut down. We'll let everything finish configuring, and then we'll come back and we'll push and start. Alrighty then, there will be no editing out of the Captain Max stupidity. We're going to leave it in there so you all get to see that, yeah, I can be dumb sometimes. Okay, so this means we're ready for push and start. Let's go ahead and pull up GSX here. Prepare for pushback and departure. They'll start pulling up. There he is right there. And let's see, what else do we need? Anything? Wing lights can go on, beacon light can go on, and that is it for the moment. There's your test switch in case you're wondering. Test all your lights. You know, that's not on the checklist. Why is that not on the checklist? I would think it would be, but it's not. Anyway, alright, fantastic. Jump back up here where we belong. Engine start is very simple. You will you make sure that your engine is displayed down here, so that one right there. You move the start selector to start, move the fuel control switch to the run position, and the engine starts. It's pretty straightforward. Now I did already customize our pushback for this position, so hopefully that works out properly. Now I've noticed with GSX it does this to me pretty much every time. So if I pull this up again, it shows me this, which does nothing for me, right? Double check your, I don't know if this is just something with mine or what, but I got to double check ground connections because sometimes it puts the chalk back in there. It didn't this time. Alright, so let's go back to the FMC, and now check it again and look, prepare for pushback and departure. Alright, so I want to use my auto-saved quick edit pushback, move that over here. And there we go.
Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, so we start with engine number 1 on this one. So if you look all the way up here, this is 1. Left click to start. Look down here, and you can see the E2 is already, or the N2, not the E2, is already coming up. So we'll go ahead and add fuel. It's an auto start sequence, so you can add the fuel right away. The rudder pedals are going nuts because they're pushing us back. Now on this pushback, it showed me the path, which I like when it does that, because some of them it like bypasses where you want to go and then comes back around. It's really ridiculous. So anyway, here we go. Just waiting on number 1 to stabilize there. You can see aircraft all over the place. Frame rates aren't too bad considering there's a lot of traffic out here right now. Let's hit our traffic switch. We're going to have to do that anyway. There's a lot of traffic out here, but I mean, we're getting close to 30 frames a second, which isn't too bad. Looks like we may end up doing a little waiting for our runway there. Alright, engine is stabilizing. Let's go ahead and do engine number 2. Same thing, left click. Make sure the N2 is coming up, which it is. And introduce the fuel. And it should put us pretty much right on this line, so that was the plan. I find it interesting that we're over here at the cargo terminal and you've got Virgin Atlantic and Lufthansa passenger aircraft over here. This is supposed to be cargo, and those two have wings crossing each other. So that's not good. Are those both 787s? Looks like it. So they shouldn't even be here, and they shouldn't be in those parking positions. But whatever, it is what it is. We should be good as far as our wingspan is concerned. Let's hop out and take a peek. Yeah, just barely, but you can see we've got just about enough room there, so fantastic. Now, they didn't quite get us on the line. That's probably just because, that's probably me. Anyway, come on, brain function. Oh, both engines have started and stabilized. Alright, so they're going to ask us to confirm that here in a minute. And while we're waiting on them, we can start looking at our before taxi checklist. So, left and right generator control switches on and lights off. So that is these two here. And the off light is off.
Set parking brakes.
Alright, let's hop down here and set the parking brake. There we go.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
And I will confirm good engine start. There we go, and they'll start detaching. We can turn the APU off at this point. It's all the way up here. Just left click it. She goes off. Engine start selectors to normal, which they both are. They automatically did that. Left and right pack control switches auto and lights off. Sometimes you gotta cycle them. The lights do go out after a minute though. It takes a minute. Left center and right isolation valves auto and lights off, which they are. Engine bleeds on and lights off. Flaps can be set at this point, so it's going to be flaps 15. That should be 15 there. Stabilizer trim needs to be set. So what we can do is let's go to this guy here, and flight controls is that one, I think. Yep, there it is. And we're going to need to do our flight control check anyway. And its trim is 4.0. Look at that, it's 4.0. Fantastic. Flight control check. Check this out.
Left is clear.
All the way
Right
left.
is clear.
All the way right. Neutral. All the way up. I have to tell you, I got the Honeycomb Alpha Yoke. This thing is awesome. It really is. Rudder's full left, full right, and neutral. Fantastic. We can put that back on nav, which is this one, right? No, that's status. This is nav down here. There we go. Hit our recall switch really quick. TCAS is still off. That's fine. And wing and engine anti-ice as needed. Taxi light on. Runway turn off lights as needed. I always have to look over. I forget which one's the taxi light all the time. It's the first one. Strobe lights don't go on until we get on the runway. I didn't forget, Alex. All right, folks. That takes care of our before taxi checklist. I'll be back in just a second and we'll go. Alrighty, what do you say we get this party started? Track hour coming on a little jump here. There it is. Take the brakes off. Make sure the brakes are off, and let's bring in a little thrust. There we go. And they're still using the proper runway, so that's a bonus. Get this bird moving. Love the sound of the engines. So I have noticed with my recording that there's some reverberation, right? So you're getting some feedback from my speakers into the microphone. And so I'm in the market for a new headset with a better microphone and all that, but man, they are not cheap. And it seems like every time I turn around I got to purchase something new. And I'm trying to save some money for the new PC build that I'm doing. So I don't know, we might have to suck it up for a little while, but I hope it's not too irritating in the videos. I'm sure I've had a couple videos that were before this one, obviously, so I'm sure that if it's irritating, you guys will have let me know by now, and we'll be good to go. All right. Okay, so we're not taxiing very far, so I'm just going to keep you guys on here. Just bring her around there, and I'm at 0 on the throttles. They're all the way back. So they've done a really good job with the ground friction modeling on this. Let's turn the TCAS on. We're going to need it here shortly anyway. TCAS is now on, and we got nobody coming that way. There's a lot of airplanes out here. They're kind of all over the place, but they're always all over the place, aren't they? Something about that AI. Alright, we're going to take this outer line here because we are such a large aircraft and such a long wingspan. And then I'm keeping an eye on our PFD, or not our PFD, our MFD here. I just moved our barrow, didn't I? Yes, I did. That was dumb. It's 3008, wasn't it? No. 3006. I meant to move the range knob here so that we can actually see if there's any aircraft on short final, which doesn't look like there are, which is good. That means we're going to roll right into things. So as we're taxiing up here, let's look at our before takeoff checklist. Landing lights need to come on. Auto throttle is armed. LNAV and VNAV need to be armed, which they are. And let's just kind of get back over here on the taxi line, shall we? What else? Traffic mode has already been set. We do need to hit the clock, so we'll hit that right now. There's nobody coming, so we're going to assume we have clearance to enter the runway. Get all of our lights on, including our strobe light. And transponder mode is on TARA, which means we are ready to go. So we're going to roll right into this. That's probably the fastest, or maybe the shortest is probably a better way to put it. The shortest before takeoff we've ever had to worry about. All right, let's roll her on up here. Big old fat girl. Doesn't look fat though, does it? You know what I mean? Like, this airplane does not look fat. Alright, we should have plenty of runway to work with here, so not too worried about getting the perfect lineup right out the gate, but we do want to try and get it close. It's just good practice, right? So let's swing her around nice and tight, and I still undercut it.
16 left.
Yeah, look at that. I undercut it by quite a bit. Okay, there is a airplane all the way down at the other end And I can't tell if he's crossing or not. But it looks like he's partway on the runway, doesn't it? I can't tell. Let's just center up here. He's not moving. If he's not partway on the runway, we're fine. That guy that's real close to us right here, he's holding short. He doesn't look like he's moving, does he? Let's put the mouse there. Is he getting any closer to it? No, he's not. Alright, we're going to go for it, guys. Let's do the takeoff. So, takeoff. Bring that up a little bit. Toga. Thrust ref. That airplane that just went around, he never showed up on the radar. Or he did and I just didn't see him. Alright, here we go. Watch him pull out while we're coming down the runway. There's 80 knots. Sure enough, he's sitting on the run. Look at him, he pulled out as soon as we went.
V1.
V1.
Rotate. V2.
It's Tannery all over again, isn't it? Ooh, it's going to be a quick climb. We got over him though, idiot. Positive rate gear coming up. Stupid. Alright, so it's an immediate left turn for us. There we go. And let's start bringing those flaps up. Man, this thing's got so much power. I don't think we needed flaps 20, did we? You know, somebody's like, of course you didn't. There we go. That'll bring us to flaps 5, up to flaps 1. Or flaps 15 is what we were at. I flew the 747 before this one, so I got flaps 20 on the brain. There we go. Just trying to follow that flight director there. And it just keeps changing on me. Like I get it and then it changes. Right? Yeah, we need to bring that nose way down. I'm trying not to do it too hard or too fast, you know. There we go. Alright, looking good. Need that speed to come up. We can zoom this out a little bit now. Maybe. There we go. Nose down a little bit more. Bring in a little trim. Ah, she's coming down. Might have even been a little too much trim. Right there should be good. Alright, I'm liking it. Should start making a right turn here shortly. Should get us on track. Let's look at our legs page and just see where it's got us going next. Yeah, normie. So we're good. We're already past the VOR. Wants us to bring that nose down a little bit more. This is where having a first officer is very helpful because they can take care of things like checking the FMC and stuff, right? And you just fly the plane because that's the first thing you got to worry about is flying that plane. Bring the flaps all the way up now. And after takeoff checklist, landing gear is up. Auto brakes are off. Aren't they? Yep, they're off. Above 10,000 feet, landing lights will go off. Seatbelt signs as desired. Transition altitude will be set when appropriate. Boy, she wants to climb right now, doesn't she? A little more nose down trim there. Let's go ahead and get the autopilot on at this point. After takeoff checklist is complete, and that means, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is time for some of that obligatory elevator music. Alrighty, folks, let the fun begin. Well, begin in about 150 nautical miles. Let's take a look at our descent stuff real quick. The FMC, we want to verify the arrival and the approach. We've already got that all tuned in here. You just go to departure arrival, put all that in there. You guys know how that works. We do have a route discontinuity. You'll see why when we do the briefing here momentarily. Well, we had one. Where'd it go? There it is, vectors. So it's not a discontinuity, it's vectors. That's all it is. And then the only thing we haven't done is we're going to do this after we start the descent. But I'm glad we're going to be going kind of slow because we're going to be landing on a short runway. What else here? Flight instruments, nav, radios, all that stuff set. Transition altitude is going to be 18,000 feet. Wing and engine anti-ice is going to remain on auto. Recall switch, we need to give that a push. Push. Nothing comes up. Auto brake as required. We're going to probably need... I want to be careful. I don't want to burn out the brakes. If we do it right, we can get away with 2 just fine. We are heavy, though. That's the thing to remember. So it's going to take a lot more to slow us down. Landing data, we have not done that yet. Like I said, we're going to do that a little bit further on down the line. And that's going to bring us to our approach and arrival, our arrival and approach briefing. Let's do it in the right order here. So let's drag these on over here. Bloop, there it is. A lot going on there, huh? It's going to be the Glavin 1 RNAV arrival for us today, and we are going to come on to this bad boy at Russia. That's what I'm going with, Russia. I don't know if it's supposed to be something else. We're going with Russia. 112 degrees from there to Ruth, then Jackson, Maddox, Glavin, then Bangor right. Now for Glavin, if you're landing east, you're going to expect to cross at 250 knots and 12,000 feet. We are going to be landing west, and so we will expect to cross at 14,000. That's what we're going to do. 144 degrees down to Stayhern, whatever that is. And then continue on. We're not going this way. We're going to continue on to Hog, and then we'll bang a little right to 154 degrees down to Eagle, and then it's a hard left to 9095 to Shirt, Fogger, Hit, Yuri, and then that's our vectors. We get out here just a little bit. We'll swing around to Silva, and then on in from there. Now, lots of stuff well, not a whole lot more to cover. Real quick, ASUS is going to be on 19.65 airport elevation, 1,026 feet. Now, all of this here, this is all lost comms information. All right, I'll zoom that in. You can see it says on there, lost comms, right? Now, if you are landing west, and you are assigned runway 27 left, that's going to be us. Cross Glavin at 14,000, Eagle at 12, Fogger at or above 7, Yuri at 4. After Yuri, turn left direct to Silva and proceed on the ILS or RNAV runway 27 left approach. Okay, that's for lost comms. Now, the typical landing right here from Stayhern on track 144 to Hog, then 154 to Eagle, and so on is basically everything we just covered there, right? So I don't think we need to read it again. Now, we are going to be taking the ILS runway 27 approach. Let's take a look at our briefing strip first. ATIS is going to be on 119.65. Atlanta approach on 127.9er. For the tower, for runway 27 left, that's going to be us. We're going to be on 119.3. For ground control, 27 left and right is 121.75. Localizer frequency is going to be 108.5 with a final approach course 275 degrees. Glide slope intercept at depot 2,800 feet. It is a category 1 ILS. I think I got that right. Cat 1 is basically decent visibility. Cat 2 should tell us down here, right? So Cat 2 is, yeah, so lower visibility, higher category on the ILS. So we're going to be Cat 1, decision altitude 1,199 feet or 200 feet above the ground. Airport elevation again 1,026 feet. Touchdown zone elevation for runway 27 left 999 feet. Excuse me. Minimum safe altitude around the Atlanta VOR 3,100 feet. For a missed approach, we're going to climb to 1,400 feet, then a climbing left turn to 4,000 feet, outbound on the Atlanta VOR 273 degree radial to Tempo intersection, which is 30.3 miles out from Atlanta, and then hold or as directed by ATC. All right, pretty straightforward, not too bad. You can see everything on our plan view here. Silva's, so we're going to swing around, come back to Silva. It's the initial approach fix. Then it's Rom, CJ, Grumpy, and Depot. 7,000 at Silva, 6 at Rom, 5 at CJ, 4 at Grumpy, and then down to 2800 for glide slope intercept at Depot. Pappy lights on the right hand side. Now, ALSF2 lights. Those are for, I wrote it down. This is why I wrote it down. It is high intensity approach lighting system with sequenced flashing lights, which consists of 247 steady burning lights, including green threshold lights, 49 of them, red side row bar lamps, 9 rows, 54 lamps, and high intensity steady burning white lights, 144 of them, plus an additional 15 flashing lights commonly referred to as strobes. They flash in sequence, starting with the strobe farthest from the runway and ending with the strobe closest to the runway threshold. The lights are spaced at 100-foot intervals from the runway threshold outward to 2,400 feet. There you have it. Okay, and I looked up the other ones too, but I'd have to write it down anyway because I don't know what that means. But basically, this is the pattern, right? This is the one that's got the flashing lights going in. That's what the ALSF is. Alright, so one more time, just the name of it here, or I won't make you look at all that again, is approach lighting system, right? Approach lighting is the AL, and then the sequenced flashing lights is the SF. So approach lighting with sequenced flashing lights, and then the 2 has the extra goodies on it. So ALFS, approach lighting, or ALSF, approach lighting, sequence flashing lights. That's what that means there. I also looked up what the Mauser and stuff means, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so Pappy lights on the right hand side. I was getting this backwards before for some strange reason. Pappy lights are going to be on the right hand side for us. It's going to be a category 1, decision altitude 1199 feet, minimum runway visual range 1800 feet, or 3/8 of a mile. And then I'll have to go and double check why we have these extras in here. They obviously mean something. Hey, listen, I'm getting there one thing at a time, right? Last thing I want to cover here. Coming in, this is our airport chart. So we're on 27 left, which is 9,000 foot runway. It's the shorter one. So we're going to have to be careful about this. Now, the reason we're taking 27 left is because we're going to the south cargo ramp. And the way everything's set up, it looks like they don't want you going to the south cargo ramp from 27 right. Okay? There are specific entry procedures for the south cargo ramp. It's a non-movement area requiring special operating procedures. You have to monitor Unicom. We're not going to do that because we don't have ATC. Okay? Entry and exit procedures. It's uncontrolled, so pushback is at pilot's discretion. Arrivals, and if you look on here, you've got 27 left, 8 left, 26 right, 26 right, 27 left, 8 right, 9 left. There is no 27 right on here. Okay? So for us, I mean, we could land on 27 right, but we're gonna make it more difficult. We're gonna land on 27 left. All right. So for 27 left, we should expect to enter via taxiway R6. Okay, that's the entry procedure. Now coming down here for arriving aircraft, transponders stay on until parked. Arriving aircraft have priority to parking as long as no other aircraft are in the process of pushback, engine start, or taxi. Arriving aircraft are to enter the south cargo ramp area through the published, that's this, or assigned entrance and taxi to parking. It's important to monitor at landing Unicom once on taxiway R, as the airport operations may advise the parking bay changes. And on it goes, okay? And then when we depart, it's a whole nother procedure, and then you get a nice close-up here, and so we got to come in here on R6. So this is runway 27 left here, all the way down, we'll taxi back, come in on R6. Everybody tracking on that? I think you are. That was probably one of the longest briefings we've ever done, but hey, I think it was worth it so that we know we got it covered, right? And we are now, let's see here, progress, 73 miles from top of descent, so good thing I started early, right? Okay, I will see you guys when we're about to hit the approach. Alright folks, as you can see, we're just about to our vectors point here. I'll pop this up for you. So we'll get past Yuri, and then we'll just do a direct to Silva using the FMC or the CDU. Easy enough that way, and when we swing around, that'll put us on the approach. So dropping below 10,000 right now. Let's get those landing lights on. Were they on already? I had them off. Who turned them on? Beats me. Okay, well, landing lights are on. That's nice. Maybe I forgot to turn them off. It's been known to happen occasionally. Okay. Let's see here. Let's hop down here real quick and take a look at, this is our landing checklist. So speed brake armed, landing gear down, and flaps 30. That'll be our landing checklist. and that'll take care of itself automatically. Now we might get a little bit of bumpiness in some of our frame rates here. I'm hoping not, but kind of is what it is. You know, it's there's a lot going on with this airfield. I did zoom down there real quick just to take a peek, because you can do that with chase plane. In case you didn't know, you can just hop on down whenever you want. Is that speed brake working? Yeah, it's up. Yeah, you can scan airports in the area out to I don't know, 50 miles or something, and then you can just click on it. The camera takes you there. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. If you're not a chase plane fan, this is awesome. So this is for Atlanta, and if I just click on it real quick, it takes a second to load in, obviously, because I just jumped right over to this airfield. But it might help a little bit with frame rates coming in too, because the system does tend to remember stuff like some of this stuff, right? So let all that load in for a second, and just get this out of the way and shrink it back down. And we should be on our vectors now anyway. It's the beauty of autopilot, right? So you see, she's just taking her sweet time loading in. Airplane's not happy about something. Oh, because I left the speed brake up. There you go. Okay, so we're on vectors now. So we'll just give her another couple miles here. If I were to push it right now, you'll see actually it'll create a path for us. So if I go to legs and then I just go Silva right there, you see it creates that path like that. So we'll just go ahead and execute that, start making our turn here, and let's put this back on initial reference. So again, our reference speed, see, it's down even a knot. We're going to take that one. I'm going to put the new one in there. So 146 plus 5 is 151. So our approach speed is 151 knots. Our VREF is 146. It's going to make that turn a little wider than I expected. That's alright. You can see there's pockets of rain around here and stuff. The weather's just kind of generally ugly. This is kind of the Atlanta area this time of year. I do have it set to the current season, so it's just the beginning of summer. So we're getting lots of storms, things like that in the Atlanta area. You're getting hurricanes off the East Coast. Good times. Not for the people dealing with the hurricanes, it's not, but... Now what I am going to do is, once we get all the way around and we get to Silva here, I am going to clear the approach path. Because I don't want to deal with this these stupid AI. I love having AI in there. Don't get me wrong. It's great to have AI traffic in the sim. It really adds to the depth, in my opinion. But, sorry, I had to scratch my ear. But having it on your approach path, not fun, right? So as we come around the turn here, I'll just do it this way. There's a hotkey for it. You can just hit Control Shift A, but I'm going to just go ahead and I want to wait till we're all the way around, because it's going to clear the aircraft in front of us, right? So I want to make sure we're pointed in the right direction here. It doesn't just get rid of a bunch of random airplanes or anything like that. It does not clear traffic behind us or to the side. It just clears the traffic that's in front of us. So it's best to do it once you're established in the right direction here, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? Alright, that looks pretty good there. So let's go ahead and do that, and that way it's done. So clear approach. And I didn't see either of these guys drop off. They're descending. I don't know where they're going though. Another airfield nearby maybe? There's no other airfield over here, so I don't know where they're going. Oh, now it cleared them off. Ooh, we're getting some chopping there. Sorry about that, guys. This system's just, it's hurting. It's hurting. This computer's had just about enough, I can tell you that for certain. So, alright, let's get a better view here. And let's just let her do her thing. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get real choppy going in. You can see there's clouds all along the ground. I don't want it to be real choppy going in. I always hate that. It makes landing hard. It, you know, it takes away from the quality of the video, obviously. You guys don't want to sit there and watch that either. You know, it's not the end of the world, of course. I mean, obviously, we all deal with that. Everybody deals. I don't care how good your system is, you get frame rate drops occasionally, especially when you fly into somewhere like Atlanta where you've got add-on scenery, you got heavy weather, lots of AI aircraft. We can reduce the AI traffic a little bit. We'll bring that down to 50. And And that'll help a little with our frame rates too. It'll just clear some of that out of there. And that way we don't have, that way our frame rates aren't getting hit so hard. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want our frame rates to get crushed here. Let's go ahead and hit the localizer button here. It's going to grab that right away so we can hit the approach switch. And now we're just waiting for it to grab the glide slope. And let's go ahead and, what did we say it was going to be? 151? Yep, 151. So let's bring this down to 200. Start slowing her down. And throw a little speed brake out there for a minute. That'll help. Get just a little slower here, and we'll throw in some flaps. Flaps always help. I mean, we're slow enough for flaps. I just want to bring that speed down a little bit. We're going to come up on it pretty fast. So there's the first setting of flaps coming out. Just keep that speed brake out for the moment. Let that speed come down some more. In fact, we're probably close enough now. What are we coming up on here? We're coming up on Grumpy. Yeah, so we can go ahead. Let's just bring this all the way down to 151. This airplane doesn't slow down real fast. It's very, very efficient. Well-built airplane. So go ahead and go flaps 5 there. Still keeping the speed brakes out. Gonna get a little bumpy here. Still haven't caught the glide slope. And let's go gear down flaps 10. There's the airfield in sight. That gear's going to help us out quite a bit. And I meant flaps 15. Okay, let's bring that speed brake in. There's flaps 20 coming up. Arm the speed brake. There we go. 25.
2500.
Check. And flaps 30. There she goes. Come on down, baby. Ooh, it's going to be a little bumpy. Frame rates aren't too bad. Hopefully they'll hold out. So let the autopilot do its thing for a minute. Let it catch that glide slope. Normally, you know, you could wait until you're on the glide slope to throw everything out there, but with the frame rates being a little nasty and stuff, I think coming in a little slower, it gives that scenery a little more time to load in. Hopefully that makes a big difference for us. Need those that auto throttle to kick it up a notch here. Look at that. Down to 139 almost. Set at 150. Still hasn't captured the glide slope. Shit, there it is. Glide slope capture. Ah, boy, those engines came up slowly, didn't they? Now they need to go back down. Alright, track air coming on a little jump. There it is. Alright, let her settle. Let her settle. It's going to be a tough landing. That's a small runway. And it's a little choppy. I do not like the choppy. Autopilot coming off. Okay, it's all us now. Alright.
1000.
Just a little low there. That's a little better. Come on back up, baby.
Approaching 27 left.
Trying to hold that sight picture. I know I'm not talking a lot. I'm trying to focus. Don't go too high. You see, there's just a little chop in there. Just a little bit. We got way too high here. Good thing it's cargo, not. Look at that chop. Come on. That's ridiculous. Now we're nose diving at it. I don't like that at all. Shouldn't be that way.
400.
Come on, frame rates suck. It's gonna be a tough landing.
300.
Come on, get down, baby.
Approaching minimums.
Why are those frame rates so bad?
Minimums. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Wow, she's floating on her own. I'm not holding it back. Come on. Need that reverse.
4,000 feet remaining. 3,000 feet remaining.
That choppiness is just absolutely atrocious.
2,000 feet remaining.
There we go. We landed it. Not my finest landing ever, but with this chop. And look, now we're at 30 frames a second. That's just ridiculous. I guarantee we heated up those brakes quite a bit. Alright, take her on down here. Slow down a little bit. Let me switch to the right chart over here. Alright. Not our best landing ever, but certainly not our worst either. Those brakes are hot right now. Guarantee. Those flaps all the way up. We used that whole runway, didn't we, guys? Woo-wee! We used that whole runway. Alright, let's try and get some lights off as we come around the turn here. Take those two off and strobe lights off. Alright. Oh, look at, there's the sun. I'm really sorry about the frame rates, guys. I've got things cranked down quite a bit. I don't think there's going to be much more that I can do to clean up these frame rates with this system. This system it just can't handle it anymore. It's worn out. It's definitely time to get that new PC going. It could have been worse, but you know, it could have been a lot better too. It could be a lot smoother coming in there. You know what I mean? All right, let's get her trucking along here, and track hour coming off. A little jump. There we go. Let's take a look at our after landing checklist here. Landing lights are off, strobe light is off, taxi light is on, APU selector can go on at this point. That's way up here. Right click it once, right click it twice, and then we're good to go. We're wandering just a little to the right there. Okay, wing and engine anti-ice are auto. Auto brake needs to go off. Right now it's in disarm because we took over manual braking because I didn't think we were going to stop in time. Speed brakes are down, flaps are up, and transponder mode goes to standby. That takes care of our after landing checklist, folks. I will see you once we are parked and shutting her down.
Let's take care of the shutdown checklist. Parking brake. Taxi light. Left and right engine fuel control switches. Seatbelt signs. Beacon light. Nav light. C1 and C2 air demand hydraulic pump selectors. Left electric demand hydraulic pump selector. Primary C1 and C2 electric hydraulic pump switches. Right electric demand hydraulic pump selector. Left and right fuel pump switches. Flight director switches. APU selector switch.
Alright, and that's going to take us right into the secure checklist. First things up top here, take care of the ADA route, turn that off. And emergency exit lights can go off. Click it once. Actually, you gotta right click it to off. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Now it's off. Left and right pack control switches can go off. APU selector switch can go off. And the battery switch can go off. And that's going to wrap it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have GSX out there doing anything. They don't seem to like these parking spaces too much. So it is what it is, but it's been a good flight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, cruising all the way across the country. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Click on the little bell, and you'll get notifications whenever I upload videos. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you like it. We're going to keep doing these most likely. You guys seem to really like them anyway, but give some feedback down in the comments as well. I always appreciate that. And that's it. That's all. No more, folks. So, as always, until next time, keep the blue side up, unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all, and have a fantastic day.